So, I got a comment probably like a week after I uploaded this video. This video reached pretty far. It got past the OSU community. It started reaching like, people who are in like Valorant, CS, things like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, I got this comment, and this video is about how back in the ancient days, you could abuse gamma to see more of the flashlight area than you were supposed to, right? And I said, okay, well that's cheating, right? Technically, it's not cheating, right? You could argue semantics whether that's cheating or not, because this is a setting which anyone could change on their monitor to do anything. But what's important is the developer saw it as cheating, right? So that's kind of why I angled it that way. We're not here to argue that. Well, maybe we are, as we'll see. Sorry, my egg roll has melded itself to the bag. I cannot take this egg roll out without also taking the bag. Oh my god. It just, the bag just ripped my egg roll open. Do you see this? It's kind of hard to see. It just ripped it open. Anyway, right? So I got this comment. 338. No, actually it's very detectable in relation to gamma. But ideas like that are why every top player is cheater now. Thanks for that, Willie. Putting the blame on me somehow. So what do I say? What do I say right here? Players abused this, and this time it wasn't detectable since gamma is a setting for monitors which anyone can change. Right? Okay. Now, there's a lot to unpack in there. Originally, I was like, well, it is technically detectable if you have a software gamma. If you have like some kind of software modifying your gamma, sure. But if the gamma is done on the hardware side, like let's just say that your monitor, right? Your monitor, this is exactly why gamma exists. You go to plug it in and everything's dark, right? And you're like, everything's so dark, I can like barely see anything on my monitor. Your monitor has this like hardware, you turn up the gamma on that, right? It doesn't change anything on the PC, right? Some monitors are this way. Some are purely software gamma, others are hardware gamma, right? At least from my understanding so far, because these are the two ways to do it. What it's doing in that case is the PC, in the software case, is modifying the signal that is being sent to the monitor, right? In the hardware case, the PC is sending the video signal to the monitor, and then the monitor is changing it before it gets displayed, right? And in these cases, you effectively can't actually detect if someone is using gamma in a bad way, is what my intention was, right? Because let's say, go back to that example where the monitor is super dark. It was just built in a way that the image is just super dark if you don't modify anything. So you turn up your software gamma to make it look like it does to everyone else. And you're like, oh, I can see everything perfectly now. It's not bright or it's not too dark. But if someone were to try and detect that, they would be like, oh, he's using high gamma. He's using high gamma, he must be cheating. And that's why it's not feasibly detectable, right? Because monitors are made, of course they might be made now with some very tight tolerances, but there's even differences in gamma between like operating systems and how they choose to output video from that. Right? So I was like, oh, maybe he just didn't understand what I said. So I said, there's no meaningful way to detect gamma if the level of a monitor is able to give some advantage because of differences in hardware and OS. I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah, because I didn't know why he brought up like cheating. And then he went on a full tirade in this comment, which is, I gotta read this out again. This is just hilarious. I like laughed the first time I read this. What I'm trying to say is that due to a number of factors, such as the emergence of other competitive communities in aim-oriented games like Kovacs and AimLab, we can now confidently say that the leaderboard on OSU is filled to the brim with cheaters. Notice how this has nothing to do with gamma. Because there are huge inconsistencies when you compare top players on Osu with the top players of closer knit communities, where people have basically been completely cheat cleared. Many of the FPS players in these communities have played on LAN, for instance. There are many, very, very many of those inconsistencies is that aiming skill at the domain of top players is highly, highly correlated with height. At one point, all top Kovacs players were 6 foot plus tall. Emrek, on the other hand, is 4'9" in July of 2021. I don't know how he got this information. When he was already number 1 for a long time, and totally dominating the game, more than 21k PP, etc. at the time. He was also on 144 Hz, when the development of other communities has revealed that having at least 240 Hz is a necessary condition to being top tier. And in Osu, as it's more competitive than you would expect, this to be even stronger. Okay? To act like detecting software with an algorithm is the only way to combat cheating is completely moronic, when we have our brains. We're almost done. We're almost through this comment. There is 1,000 times stronger evidence than that too, especially on some other players like Whitecat and quote-unquote Zoodinator. This so-called Zoodinator. In fact, there are even massive inconsistencies on the technical end for them as well, but it's completely pointless talking to you. The entire Osu community is a bunch of lobotomized Marvel fans who would rather their delusion of, wow, pen go fast, than know the truth about their quote-unquote heroes. But it's just that, a delusion, and it's no less absurd than believing top athletes aren't on drugs, or in Santa for that matter. Whew. So the only reply that I had to that was thank you for making my day. Because I read that comment, I was laughing. I was laughing as I was reading. I was streaming it, my reaction. Like, I was just reading comments and I came across this one. I was just laughing the entire time. I was like, what does this even mean? One, again, I don't see what this has to do with Gamma. This has absolutely nothing to do with Gamma. I don't know what has just happened. Two, let's break down every single point that just happened right here. So what he's trying to say is that due to a number of factors, we can now confidently say that the leaderboard on Osu is filled to the brim with cheaters. Okay? I would like if he gave us some factors. There are huge inconsistencies when you compare top Osu players to top AIM players that have been cheat cleared. Okay? And he mentions many of the FPS players in these communities have played on LAN, for instance. Does he know that people have played on LAN in Osu as well? I mean, some of the players that I can think of instantly who have played at LAN, right? Wubblefulf, Vaxay. I mean, I hate to mention him, but Idkey, Fiery Rage. There's pretty much everybody who is at Guangzhou Yaka, Guangzhou. I still don't know how to say it. I'm a fool. I'm sorry. I'm an American. I'm very sorry. So that includes like Rustbell, Cookie Z, Xarius. I feel like all these people have been have been pretty much cheat cleared. Do you guys remember when Vaxay got the first ever DTFC on was it Strawberry Trapper? Is that the song name? I might be thinking of a different song. He got that at a LAN. He got the first ever DTFC. Like in a tourney match at LAN. So I don't know what he's saying about. I guess he's insinuating like I will agree like less Osu players, like the rate of Osu players who play at LAN is less than probably other communities, but you know, we have people from all over the world, which of course they do too. But some people, you know, they can't make it to LANs because it's expensive to get everybody in the same place, you know. One of these inconsistencies is aiming skill at the domain of top players is highly correlated with height. Instant point right here. I thought this was like a joke when I read it, because this is a classic statistical fallacy. Correlation is not causation. Just because you have one game where, you know, a couple of your top players in Kovacs, he says all, I don't know if I fully believe this, were 6 foot plus, does that mean that to be good at Kovacs you have to be 6 foot plus? No. Unless you can find, you know, the root cause of this, and then you're like, oh yes, it actually is height, and prove that, and disprove, you know, all the people who are shorter than that are really good at Kovacs, then you have no substance there. Just because people are really tall doesn't mean that being tall makes you good at the games. In fact, there might be like the complete opposite of that in Osu. Of course, it's not, like I said, it's not causation, but you might notice that a lot of shorter players, right? I think this has been pointed out, are really good at you know, whatever it is, like aim, speed, whatever, right? I think people have brought that up before because they're like, oh, their nervous system is small, or like more condensed. They can send signals to their hands 1 millisecond faster than everyone else. Of course, that's like half a meme, right? But you could look at data in whatever way you want. That doesn't mean that is the true like thing, right? And he brings up Emrek, and he says he was also on 144 hertz when development of other communities has revealed having at least 240 hertz is a necessary condition to being top tier. I can already tell you this is not true, right? Of course, people can read AR11 on 60 hertz. Is it harder than 144 hertz? Yes. I think if you ask anyone, they'd be like, it's harder because, you know, you're not seeing like a lot of the transition frames you can actually get, you know. Sorry, that's like a whole different topic. But to say that 240 hertz is necessary to being top tier, I don't think that relates to Osu at all, especially when all of the events, like what's the tightest hit window? OD11. Here, where's like a OD chart? I'm going to show you what the tightest hit window you need to react to is. Absolute tightest hit window. Overall difficulty chart. Hold on. Oh, here we go. This is such a good chart. Okay, let me show you this. Well, I might be covering up part of it. Whoops. So, this is how it is. Which line is 300 plus DT? So to get, let's just look at 300s with DT, right? Which will be the octagon. It might be a little bit hard to see, but you can see, like at the higher end, it's coming down to like, you know, past OD 12.5 is 4.5, which is something you'll never encounter actually in game. It'll be closer to OD 11, which will be still 13.5 milliseconds. That's not enough of a difference, and that's only hitting 300s. If you bring it to something else, like, you know, hitting 100s on DT, is that where's the octagon? Is it different for DT? No, it's still like an octagon. It's hard to see. It must be this one, right? Whatever. You can see. I don't think the numbers are on the scale that it really matters at that point. I think OD11, I mean, yeah, the refresh rate on the monitor for 144 hertz is already to the point where you're gonna be able to make that difference. Do you get what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to like understand what I'm saying. I think I'm not explaining it well, but it's true. Doesn't OD go up to like 11.5? I think it's something like I know that AR11 is actually like AR 11.03 or something because of the values or something. I'm not sure if it's the same for OD, but that might be the case. But exactly that. In Osu, it's more competitive than you expect to be even stronger. To act like detecting software with an algorithm is the only way to combat cheating is completely moronic. Exactly, right? And that's why we have Osu report. And I will bring this up because this user on YouTube will allege that he has conclusive evidence that multiple top players are cheating, yet he has not posted any of this evidence anywhere. Trust me, you're in for a wild ride. You are in for a very wild ride. And we're only at the start here. when we have our brains. Of course, humans can be flawed though. The biggest example of this, and the biggest reason why you'll see, even cheaters in OSU don't get banned for a while, is because we've had false bans in the past that have been proven that they are actually playing legitimately. Namely, Phil's Dilemma and Azerite. Those are the two real big names where people looked at their plays, they were getting, edge hits, and people were like, there's no way that you could get this statistical anomaly number of edge hits in a play. But they were playing higher AR, they were playing these things where, edge hits were actually more likely. And once that was figured out, they were like, oh, whoops, sorry. And I'm banned. And that's why you can't trust, your brains. I don't want to throw Keenan under the bus because, we've all had like really, really stupid cheating opinions in the past. But Keenan is famous in the past for calling out players, right, for abusing gamma, as he thought, or just like he was like, oh no, this guy's blatantly cheating. The guy that he berated for many years because he thought he was cheating, that there was no human that could act, maps that good. Gaze McGee, also known as Arison. For years, Keenan was like, this guy is so blatantly cheating, I don't know how you guys can believe this. And since then, we've he especially has learned, like, oh no, this guy's just actually really good. And that's the thing. That's why you can't trust your brains. And that's why it's useful to rely on software sometimes. But once we're getting to the point of like undetectable cheats, does it really matter what our brains think? Or what software thinks, or anything? It's food for thought right there. Sorry, we're on the topic of brains. I just need some brain food real quick. Let me get this bite of egg roll, and then we'll continue. Well, there's 1,000 times stronger evidence than that too, especially on some other players like Whitecat and Zoodinator. Now, Whitecat, the evidence against him, at least for cheating, I think has been disproven. We saw this. They used animations, and this is exactly what I was talking about when he's saying, look at our brains. That's what led to Whitecat being banned in the first place, was people falsely thought these things, like, oh, well, that's not possible, and then they would like overanalyze his gameplay and be like, look, this frame doesn't line up, right? And that's exactly why we got banned, and he's a completely legitimate player, and now he's having to endure people like this still, to this day. Zoodinator, I don't know what... I don't even know why he would put Zoodinator in quotes. Because, I don't know, we might not have some native English speakers, but, when you put something in quotes in this manner, it's sort of presumed that you're saying, like, oh, that so-called, like that might not actually exist. In the context of this, he doesn't think that Zoodinator is an entity that exists. That's how I read this. Which is hilarious. Like, not even like... I assume he's... I don't even know why he put the quotes. Because he didn't put quotes on Whitecat. I'm just confused. There are even massive inconsistencies on the technical end for them as well. He goes over that in a comment. You just wait. But it's completely pointless talking to you. The entire OSU community is a bunch of lobotomized Marvel fans. In some instances, I would agree with this. Sometimes the OSU community is horribly stupid. And there can be some, terrible people defending stuff in the OSU community. But I don't think this is the case for not wanting to, but one, witch hunt people, two, like what's wrong with this is the biggest thing, was for the longest time, like I said, there was false bans happening, and then people were witch hunting players, right? Like Vaxe was a brand new up and coming player at the time, and he started setting 500s, and people were like, who is this guy? So they looked into it, and they found he multi-accounted, and then everybody started spreading a rumor that he was cheating, not just multi-accounting, because they were like, oh, well, he multi-accounted, he's probably cheating. Let's have him banned permanently, forever. Let's get rid of him. When he was just a kid. And that's like the witch hunting mentality at almost its worst. It's gotten even worse than that before, right? But what's wrong with not wanting to have foster that kind of community, right? I don't want to sit here and have every single new player who gets slightly good at the game be like, you are cheating. You should be banned right now. And then they get banned for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And to say that, what is wrong with having innocent until proven guilty? Of course, anyone can have their suspicions, right? Because technically, Brighter wasn't proven guilty, right? Even though guys, we all know. I'm gonna be real with you. We all know, okay? But to these people, right? If there is no proof against them, why should we not just presume that they're innocent? If you don't have proof against someone, what does it matter? My word versus yours. You say that, oh, White Cat's cheating. Do you have proof of this? And of course, he's going to say he has proof, but I think we'll find that the proof is not as proof-worthy as he thinks. I thought Brighter was a proven multi-account. Yeah, that's the thing though, right? I see proof and I'm like, yes, I understand now. Because Brighter is actually proven, but they, again, with the false bans, they're really strict about not falsely banning someone. So they will not ban someone until they have absolute, like, definitive proof of something. Which, I don't know. Sometimes they're just really slow to it because stuff like Green NPC, if you look in the past. Anyway, they would rather the delusion of pen go fast than know the truth about their heroes. I would rather know the truth, right? I don't want to be led astray by people. And I'm sure that there are cheaters, right? There's shocking, guys. There may even be cheaters in the top 100. Don't tell Peppy. He'll lose his mind. But, you know, I don't let that get in the way of me, you know, trying to respect people. What's the point of just diminishing everyone's accomplishments and just being like, well, you know, they're probably cheating. Oh, you know, that Emmerich guy, he's probably cheating, so we should just hate on him. We shouldn't, you know, celebrate his accomplishments. It's like, why? Whoa. Oh, man. So, a little down the thread, you can see some other people got involved. Some other people commented. He replied to one of these people, "You fanboy a band cheater who admitted to cheating to support and continues to lie about it in public. Stop expressing your irrelevant opinions." I don't know who he's talking about, but very interesting. "Yes, they play at LANs and they suck. No good score has ever been set at a LAN." To respond to this, that's completely blatantly untrue. There have definitely been good scores set at LANs. 2, you know why people suck? Because they're not in their element. They're not at a place. They might not have the same, you know, like seating position or chair. It's uncomfortable. You might not have like a good chair. I have a nice chair. This chair costs me like, you know, $200 or something. You think I'm gonna get a chair just like this at a LAN? No. I mean, that, of course, the meme of the gaming chair. My tablet might not be in the right position. I might not have enough space to you know, put my arms out to do that. Also, people suck when they're being watched. Exactly. It's a completely different environment. And here, there's not people, you know, chatting around me constantly. Whereas at a LAN, there's going to be packed peoples at you know, tables and everything, and everyone's going to be talking to each other. And, you know, there's a lot of, like, noise distraction out there as well. Like, I don't know how you can think that anybody would perform at peak condition in a LAN. Okay. And this is his proof. Are you ready? So someone responded, "People have mapped hand cam to cursor movements perfectly. What more do you want?" Which is perfectly true. I don't know if you've ever seen like the videos. I've watched them a couple times. One of my favorites, I'll do it for the meme, is a closer look at Cookie Z's Made of Fire. right? Where he takes the tablet pen and he maps it to a field on the tablet, and you can see like how the pen is influencing the cursor. Very cool, right? And you can see like some of the micro movements that you wouldn't be able to normally like think of, like there. Oh. So, what does he have to say to this, you might ask? Ha 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 ha! That's just grand. It's my Discord that came up with the idea to use stereographic projection, and the Osu community doesn't even do it right. They just map the images to each other 1-to-1 and apply some slight lateral tilt. You need 4 points of contact to correctly project a sphere onto a plane, and that's how we caught Spare. We've known Spare cheated way longer than that guy on Osu Report, in addition to pretty much all the other banned cheaters, and it will be pretty funny in 2 to 3 years when people look back on this convo. But if you even knew what you were talking about, you know that spherical projection isn't nearly strong enough to catch good cheats because cameras aren't giving you sufficient information. Let's break it down. Exactly. You got it in chat. Why does he need to project a sphere onto a plane? And I've thought about this. I have thought about this so many times. I was like, maybe he's talking about like the distortion of the camera lens. Like he would need to map a sphere on a plane, but if you look at this, you can pretty clearly see that the tablet is flat, and you can see like how the tablet is oriented, right? And stuff like this. And so then the only other solution is he thinks that the tablet casts a sphere of area around, which I can already instantly prove you wrong. Because where's my pen? Because already at this point, right? What happens? Can you even see my tablet? Tablet is spherical. Oh no. I cannot move my tablet up here. Down here, I say sphere of influence, right? But this is how far, like this is touching the tablet. This is basically to the limit of its ability. And that's because I don't know where he came up with this spherical mapping thing. Mapping it 1-to-1, although it might not be fully accurate, is absolutely a perfect way to do this. Because that is what the tablet's intentions are. The tablet works as an absolute pointing device. Where you point on the tablet, it will map directly onto your monitor. Now there is something to be said, right? If you lift up a little bit, there's uncertainty added to this, right? Because the point of contact isn't so, focused in one general point right here. In 3D space, this could be, a percentage over here, a percentage over here, percentage, in like a cone around here, and it interpolates the data and approximates, and you can see right here, it's pretty stable, but as I lift up, the uncertainty makes the cursor wobble like a lot more because it's not exactly certain where the cursor is. But the difference of this, like you see this is maximum like height right here. That's pixels on my screen that it's moving at like absolute max height, right? There is no reason why you couldn't use that in the projection of the tablet on the monitor. Because the variation in the cursor position is not going to be large enough to make a difference to tell if someone's cheating. I don't know how that would even tell if someone's cheating. A stereographic projection. You need 4 points of contact to correctly map, or to correctly project a sphere onto a plane. Like, I don't understand. I absolutely don't understand. Then he starts adding everyone and says, bet against me. Mr. Willie, still waiting for you to bet against me. Why the wait, Willie? I don't know where he mentioned a bet. I don't know what this means. What's your OSU profile? Good question. Yes, they play at lands and they suck. No good scores have ever been set at land. What if Wolf Galaxy collapse pass? Vaxley playing a whole tournament at land and FC. That's true. He got the first ever. Is this the one where he did? Was it Strawberry Trapper? It is. It is. He got the first ever.
Right here. One hit, eight, one.
Yep. Right here. First ever DTFC on this map, set at land, and we can watch as Vaxley does it. But he's gonna say no good score has ever been set at land.
You guys are really loud, actually.
Man.
Give me all the spam. The final
classic
map of our land here tonight.
Man. That and of course, Web of Wolf Galaxy collapse. Live at DreamHack, right? That's another one. Okay, let's see what it says. His response, 2017 XDDDDD. You're not real, dude. It has to be a troll. There's no way. Nobody knows what you mean when you say bet against me. True. Highest tier bait. I liked and subscribed. That's what I was thinking originally. It's such a good bait if it is. Otherwise, there are people like this in the world. I know there are people like this in the world, right? I don't want to believe that this is a real person. I wonder where all the LAN tournaments in 2019 went. Oh man, I have no idea. One of the best tracking players in the world. Someone who places easily top 20 on every leaderboard he touches in Kovacs is 5'6". What? What? That's impossible. Someone cannot disprove his theory. It only started working on his aim a year ago. Before that, he was struggling to shoot Fortnite models jogging towards him. Most top-end players only get 240 Hz after playing thousands of hours. Most start on 60, 144. 144 is fine. It's a 3 millisecond difference for frame, right? Okay, wait. 144 Hz is a 3 millisecond difference per frame. And on OD11, at the absolute maximum, or no, not even that, like OD 12.5, we said it was like 3.5 milliseconds, right? At an OD that's not even in the game, at an OD that's higher than anything possible in the game, you are already fast enough on 144 Hz to read it, or like to hit it within the timing window, within 1 frame. Why do people, why would anybody think that 240 Hz is necessary? Oh man. Also, the issue with detecting cheating with our brains is it's biased and also requires effort from people. That's true. I agree mainly with the bias part, right? That's what we've seen time and time again. Algorithms are automatic and can be fine-tuned to catch what we're looking for. In this case, it's people cheating. Another thing to add about algorithms is if you think algorithms are 100% right always, then you're living in a fantasy world. You're gonna have false positives. You're gonna have false negatives. Algorithms aren't absolute. You know why? Because algorithms are made by people, and people are flawed. You can design an algorithm that works great. Performance 99.99999% of the time. That doesn't mean that it is like certifiably always going to work. You know? To be honest, this entire thing just comes off as cope, just looks like the memories of a mid-tier aimer. Oh, he's casting doubt. I don't know what to tell you, but play better. Your idea that there's a mass secret league of players who is cheating is an external variable you're limiting yourself on purpose with. It only serves to hurt you. And another thing I want to bring up, it's kind of related to this, right? Because there's a lot of people, not even people like this, but just a lot of like normal OSU players who believe that there's like this secret cabal of top OSU players who all have custom-made cheats, and they all know that everybody cheats, and they share their cheats with each other, but they don't let the secret out. That is, you know how there's people who get into like these conspiracies and they're like, yeah, you know, the moon landing was fake. Over 500,000 people all got in together and decided to fake it. It's trouble trying to keep a secret between like 5 people. You think they're gonna get hundreds of Osu players who are well known for you know, going out and guns blazing whenever they decide to quit, to keep this secret that there's like a secret custom made cheat for everyone? Listen to this. When an Osu player gets banned, or like this hasn't happened in a while. When someone quits or to cheat or something like this, you know what they do? They cheat on purpose to get banned because they want attention. That's why anybody who announces that they're quitting, like in a way where they're like, oh yes guys, I'm so sad, but yes, this is it. It's finally the end of my Osu journey. I'm quitting. And then a week later they start playing again. And then another week later they're like, guys, I'm quitting. This is it. You don't think that they wouldn't tell everyone? They'd be like, I'm quitting because I was actually cheating. By the way, all of these people are cheating and they've been using this cheat and they've been doing that. That would get like the biggest attention ever. Because, I mean, generalization, a lot of people, you know, who get to this point have big egos and they're like attention seeking in a way. And we've seen that happen with multiple top players. I'm not going to name anyone, right? Because they're probably different people now. They've probably changed, you know, how they thought. But at the time, there's some people who like had some behavior like that, right? Anyway, to say that there's a massive organization of top Osu players spanning 1,000 different people, all who know of this cheating method and are keeping it under wraps, all it takes is one leak. All it takes is one person to reveal that this is happening, and it's done for. Like, how can you believe that this is happening? And that's why I don't believe it, is because even after all of these years, the years that people have been saying this, no one has said it. No one has revealed anything about this. That's how I know that it's not real. You've been around for long enough, you must be part of the conspiracy too. No, they're on to me. Special Agent Rogers. They know. Release the 100-page document on Twitter right now. No, but I have to be the best legit player ever. There's no way someone's better than me. Exactly. Everyone's just coping when they see it. So he adds everyone in the thread. Bet against me. Bet against me. I'm pretty confident I would. Never heard of you before. Lol. Ha ha ha. Both wrong. I have never played the game. Huh? You developed this super cheat detecting method using a stereoscopic projection of a sphere to a planar surface where there's 4 points of intersection to truly analyze the pen position on the tablet. That's a 1-to-1 mapping to the monitor. And you've never played the game? Oh, okay. Now you've convinced everyone that you know what you're talking about. Willie, are you going to bet against me, Willie? Funny how he thinks that the YouTube has to remove his comments, and then he just very transphobic comment. It's strange. This guy must be strange. I think it's time. I've gotten enough entertainment from this user. You're gone. Bye bye. I will not see you again. Oh, that was just so fun to look at, though. It's a mystery. Dude is unhinged if he isn't trolling. I've seen people like this so many times. That's the thing, though. Sometimes they're baiting. right? Yeah, often, I'll even say oftentimes they're baiting, right? For the same reason, just to get attention. But there are some real people like this. There are people who actually think like this. And that's the most shocking part. You know what I mean? Least obsessed OC player. That's super high effort bait. You'd have to be insane to go through with that. But that's the thing though, right? That's what makes it more believable is if you go the extra mile, right? To be like, nobody would ever fake something like that. And that's where they get their kicks out of baiting something like that. It's the classic image. It's the classic image of the guy, right? You know the meme. I mean, it's pretty inappropriate now, right? But the guy saying, look at me, I'm stupid," and then everyone's like, "Look, that guy's stupid," and then the guy says, "I was only pretending to be stupid." It's exactly that. Once again, got it. That's a miracle though.